Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm showing you guys this 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe, but I would like to give a special thanks to Homestead Hyundai for providing with the Hyundai Santa Fe. If you're in the market for a Hyundai, you can come check out Homestead Hyundai and ask for Edmond. He will get you into a new or pre-owned vehicle here. But let's talk about the exterior paint here of the Hyundai Santa Fe. Hyundai calls this a Stormy Sea. It looks really good here with the aluminum accents. You're looking at this large Cascade waterfall grille. There is a front-facing camera. Since this is the limited model here, I also like the Hyundai emblem there front and center. There's front parking sensors here. These headlights here, it reminds me of a Volvo, how they have like this Thor hammer design here with an LED turn signal, also with the LED daytime running light. There's an automatic low and high beam here. And there's also these opening here. It's going to be functional. I actually like the front lip splitter here on this vehicle. It looks really nice. I think the Santa Fe is a very handsome SUV here. Unfortunately, you guys cannot get a 3-row here on the Santa Fe. You guys have to go for the Palisade. So if you guys want that 3-row seating, I would check out the Hyundai Palisade. Looking at the side profile here, let's start off with these tires and wheels here. These are a 235/55 Continental tire. They're wrapped in this 19-inch rim design. I do like the silver with the gray finish here. It looks really nice here, especially with the Stormy Sea exterior paint. And of course, it wouldn't be an SUV without the cladding here. Looking at the mirror cap, there is this LED side marker. There is some chrome here on the side profile here of the Santa Fe around the window wells, even on the door handle, and even at the lower part of the door here. Like I mentioned, there's some cladding here. And up top, Hyundai does offer this large panoramic sunroof here to let light into the cabin. There's these flush mounted roof rails with these crossbars. So if you guys want to tie some stuff on top of the Santa Fe, you can definitely do so if you have these accessories. The wheelbase here for the Santa Fe is at 108.9 inches with an overall length of 188.4. But let's take a look at the rear of the Hyundai Santa Fe. Looking at the rear of the Hyundai Santa Fe, let's start out with these taillights here. They're going to be an LED combination with an LED brake light with an incandescent reverse light. There's that 2.5 T badge. There's the Hyundai emblem there, a stand-up backup camera, of course, with these incandescent bulbs for the tag. There's this rear wiper here to keep the rear glass clean. There's also the Santa Fe badge on the left side of the vehicle. Down here, this is where the LED turn signals live. They're separated from the reverse lights and brake lights there. There's rear parking sensors. There's some aluminum painted trim here on the bumper with a single exhaust trim here. But open up the cargo bag here. This does come equipped with a power opening tailgate. Once it opens up, it reveals 36.4 cubic feet of space. And underneath here, there's going to be the jack here for the spare tire and also some underfloor storage. And to fold down the second row here, just press this button here. The seats will fold down. It expands the cargo to 72.1 cubic feet of space. And unfortunately, Hyundai does not offer a third row here on the Santa Fe. You have to check out the Palisade if you guys want that third row option. Sitting in the interior of the Hyundai Santa Fe Limited trim, looking at this interior here, this does have a two-tone color combination, which I think is a nice look. This is a 10.25-inch display here, and the gauge cluster is going to be a 12.3 digital display. But reaching over here and shutting the door and starting up the Santa Fe here, as you guys can hear, that 2.5-liter four-cylinder will come to life. The materials here are going to be a nice soft touch material. There's this aluminum painted door handle here. 2-person memory seats. There's also some carbon fiber like trim here on the door panel. It is auto up, auto down for the driver and passenger. You can power fold the mirrors in via this button here. As you guys can see, they power fold in and out. The lock controls and mirror adjustment controls are there. The dimmer switch, lane keep assist, your power trunk release button is there with the traction control, and there's electronic parking brake. This is a manual tilt and telescoping wheel. It does offer a decent amount of range and adjustability. I'm surprised Hyundai didn't put a power operating steering wheel here. There's the paddle shifters here to cycle through that 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. The headlight and turn signal stock is there. The wind wiper stock is right there. There is some controls here on the steering wheel, which is the voice command controls, the volume there, the option to answer and hang up the phone. And over here is for the driver's assistance, which has highway steer assist with adaptive cruise control. Like I mentioned, this is a 10.25-inch display. As you guys can see, it does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It takes up the complete screen here. You can also split the screen so you can have the embedded GPS here. We're going here to the Hyundai interface here. As you guys can see, I like the bright blue icons. Very fast and snappy. Going back to the Apple CarPlay here. There's your air vents here with the hazard buttons there. There's a volume and tune knob. There's some shortcut buttons here, which is sync, track, media, radio, and setup. This is for the climate control. It's dual climate control, and it does have 3-level heated and cool seats here. Putting the Santa Fe into reverse here, put your foot on the brake and press the R here. As you guys can see, it does show you a top-down 360 view, and you can zoom in and out to see what's closer to you, or make sure that you're not going to be curve surfing. You press N for neutral, you press D for drive, and you press P for park. There's an automatic start-stop function here, auto hold. a heated steering wheel function. There's your drive mode selector here. Once you switch it over to the left or right, it shows you smart, comfort, and sport mode here. You go into sport mode, it changes the gauges to a nice bright red, which I think looks really nice. We'll talk about the drive modes once we get into the actual test drive here. There's your parking sensors there. You can also access the camera via this button here. It does show you a nice clean and crisp resolution there. There's a cup holder here. There's two cup holders here. My iPhone 12 Pro Max does fit in the wireless charger if it wasn't connected to the USB port there. There's no wireless function here for this infotainment system. You guys have to go for a lower trim level if you guys want to get that wireless function. The materials here on the dashboard are very nice, high quality leather with some stitching. There's a shelf here that you can put some items on. Again, the glove compartment here, it does offer a large bin there. The seats in here, the 3-level heated and cooled seats, and above me there's this large panoramic sunroof here to let light into this cabin. And panoramic sunroof actually goes into the cargo area, which is a nice touch. The center armrest here is going to be nice and padded. It does reveal a decent amount of storage in there. I'm showing you guys the key fob here. It does have some function on it, which includes lock, unlock, trunk release, a panic button. You can also move this vehicle in and out of tight parking spots, and there is an automatic start-stop function there. And this does have the Harman and Kardon sound system, and I do like the texture here on the speaker cover. But overall, Hyundai did a fantastic job here with the Santa Fe's interior. I do like this two-tone color combination. But let's hop into the back seat of the Santa Fe. Hopping into the back seat here of the Hyundai Santa Fe, shutting the door here. The material is going to be a nice soft touch material. There is this manual sunshade here to block out the sun. There's also LED lights throughout the cabin with this grab handle here. There is one mount pocket back here, surprisingly. Over here is going to be some features, which is the air vent here with 2 USB ports. There's also this household outlet here, and you cannot slide the seat forward and back, but you can recline the seat via this handle here on the side. So you can look at this massive panoramic sunroof here, but there's this bar that cuts between it, but it still lets a lot of light into this cabin. And pulling this down here, it does reveal 2 cup holders, and Hyundai says you do get 41.7 inches of legroom here in the back seat of the Hyundai Santa Fe. Opening up the hood here of the Hyundai Santa Fe, this has Hyundai's 2.5-liter 4-cylinder here. This powertrain makes 277 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired with an 8-speed wet dual-clutch transmission. This powertrain is in the Hyundai Sonata inline, also the Kia K5 GT. So this powertrain is all over the Hyundai, Kia, and also the Genesis brand. So this powertrain is very well known, and especially with that wet dual-clutch transmissions, which is very snappy. I sampled that in the inline, also in the GT of the Kia model. As the Santa Fe sits, it weighs 4,014 pounds. Fuel economy for this powertrain here is rated at 22 in the city, 28 on the highway, and 25 combined. If you guys don't like those fuel economy numbers, Hyundai will sell you a hybrid powertrain. Starting off in the Hyundai Santa Fe here, this has Hyundai's 2.5-liter 4-cylinder here. This powertrain is sampled in the Hyundai Sonata inline, also the Kia K5 GT. So this powertrain is all over the Hyundai, Genesis, and also the Kia brand. So it's a very durable powertrain, especially with the 8-speed wet dual clutch, which is very responsive. Probably one of the best dual clutch that I've tested so far since I've been doing car reviews. The visibility out of the Santa Fe is really good. You have a great commanding view of the road. It does come with Hyundai's driver's assistance, which includes forward collision warning with pedestrian and cyclist detection, blind spot monitoring, road cross traffic alert, also with highway assist and adaptive cruise control. The tech in here is really good. This is a large 10.25-inch display here. It does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but unfortunately there's no wireless function. So you guys have to wait maybe for the next generation of Santa Fe in order to get that feature, because Hyundai does not offer it as of this filming. As you guys can see, I have my signal on here for left. As you guys can see, it shows you what's in your blind spot, or even if you signal right. And this is front wheel drive. You can get all wheel drive for $1,700. But here in South Florida, we really necessarily don't need all wheel drive because it's hot and we don't really run into those snowy climate throughout the year. It's always hot all year round. But the ride quality is very good. The steering feel is very playful. You can fit your family in here. You get around 41.7 inches of legroom in the back seat. Plenty of cargo space. With the back seats folded up, you get 36.4 cubic feet of space. If you fold them down, if you guys don't have your kids or in the vehicle with you, you get 72.1 cubic feet of space. So even though this is not a 3-row SUV, you still get a lot of cargo space. And Hyundai will sell you the Hyundai Palisade that offers a 3-row standard compared to this Santa Fe here, which only has a 5-seater and it doesn't offer 3 rows of seating. Hyundai has been talking about adding a 3-row here for the Santa Fe, but honestly I don't think they should do that because they already have the Palisade. But the Santa Fe is a really good choice as well. Great reliability, great warranty. So you guys do get the best of both worlds. Let's talk about the tech here. Like I mentioned, this is a 10.25 inch display, and here in the instrument panel is a 12.3 display here that you can customize via this toggle piece here, and also for the driver's assistance. We're going to go into a sport mode here. The drive mode selector is right here. Going here to sport, it does turn the gauges a bright red. I like the gauges here once it turns into actual sport mode. And the transmission gets a little more eager. Like I mentioned, it is an 8-speed wet dual clutch. The steering has a little bit more heft to it. This makes 277 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. If you guys go for the Sonata inline or the Kia K5, it's going to have more horsepower at 290 horsepower compared to 277 that you get here in the Santa Fe. And this vehicle weighs around 4,014 pounds. So let's see how the performance is once the light turns green here. It cut the power there. Keep in mind, like I mentioned, you can get all-wheel drive for around $1,700. Honestly, I would recommend getting that because, as you guys can hear, the front tires will chirp or do a burnout. But the dual clutch is super responsive. I'm downshifting here. This is third gear. Do I feel torque steer? Just a smudge. It's not pulling the wheel left or right, but you do feel just a little bit of the actual torque steer. And the dual clutch is just responsive. For this to be a two-row family hauler here, the dual clutch performs like it's legit like a sports car. So if you guys sampled the powertrain in the Sonata, like on a test drive or whatnot, this will feel a little bit more familiar. But keep in mind, the Sonata and the K5 will offer a little bit more horsepower at 290 horsepower, but it will make the same pound-feet of torque, which is at 311 pound-feet of it. But we're gonna do a launch. So let's do a launch control here. I'm gonna turn off the traction because I know what's gonna happen when I turn the traction off. I'm just gonna hold everything down. I'm gonna brake boost it. Surprisingly, I'm surprised. There was no torque steer, and then there was no chirping of the tires. So this thing does put the power down just fine if you don't slam your foot on it from an actual stop. But I just brake boosted, and I thought it was gonna actually burn out the front tires. But let's set the cruise control here. Hyundai makes it pretty simple. You can also adjust how close you want the car to stop in front of you. And it's telling me to keep my hands on the wheel. So this is for demonstration purposes. If you guys know, the system will beep to let you know to keep your hands on the steering wheel. And it does a really good job here of keeping itself centered in the lane. It's not ping-ponging me back and forth. Like I mentioned from previous reviews, this is one of the best driver's assistants that I tested. Like I mentioned, make sure that you guys keep your hands on the steering wheel at all times. Once you guys see the green icons here for the highway stir assist and also the lane keeping assist, that lets you know that the sensors and radar are available to be used. But the system works really good. Like I mean, it's keeping me centered in the lanes. But keep in mind, if you guys are looking for a 5-seater that can carry your stuff around and that also gets great warranty, the Santa Fe is not a bad option. Starting price here for the Hyundai Santa Fe Limited here is at $38,750 with the options and accessories, including destination. The Hyundai Santa Fe stickers for $40,800. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Drive On Reviews and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all in the next review.